After the Taliban took control of Afghanistan, they imposed a new reality over the country. The biggest impact would be on Afghan women and girls. Suddenly, school doors were slammed shut in their faces, leaving over 1 million girls between 12 and 18 years old deprived of a chance to complete their education. The policy forced girls to choose between challenging the Taliban or accepting their new reality. Some chose the more dangerous path, to continue their education, but in secret schools. Searching for those who chose this path was riddled with danger, as the bumpy roads to the secret schools were difficult to navigate and the eyes of the authorities were everywhere. But finally, we arrived in a village in Nangarhar province in northern Afghanistan, where the girls had decided to continue their education in their teachers' homes after their school was shut.
My friends said they were studying in a house in the village. I asked my father if I could go too. He said if anyone finds out there's a secret school, there will be problems.
It is my duty to work for the future of girls in our society. As an educated woman who studied her whole life to carry out this role and work towards this goal for my country's future. Of course, it's not that I don't understand my religion. I know my religion and its requirements and demands, and of course, I'm not working against Islam. However, if they come and say I'm working against Islam and I'm arrested, I'll be a hero. I don't care about this. It doesn't concern me. I have the right to do this work, and I'm not afraid of anyone.
After the Taliban took control of Afghanistan, they vowed to let girls' schools remain open, but they went back on their promise and shut them, stating that the schools would remain closed until a plan in line with Sharia law had been put in place for them to reopen. The UN condemned the decision as outrageous and unparalleled.
The Taliban shut our schools and turned them into mosques, forcing us to attend secret schools. As we were in the middle of our studies, which we hadn't finished, we had to keep on studying. We are being taught in secret and forced to study the rest by ourselves. The Taliban are still promising that lessons will restart one day, then say not yet. I expect the Taliban to suddenly announce without warning that we will have an exam.
I've been doing this for 2 years. To begin with, not many girls attended the lessons, but now many are coming. I wanted to do this because the girls need to learn. It is their right. They need to study as they should take what is their right.
The teacher became afraid during the interview and was not able to finish speaking. The penalty for breaching a decree in Afghanistan could result in both a prison sentence and a fine. Before the Taliban seized power in 1996, 60% of teachers at Kabul University were female, and so were 50% of students. Women made up 70% of school teachers and 50% of public sector employees. In addition, 70% of the 130,000 public sector staff in Kabul and 40% of doctors were also women. But today, Afghan women are suffering after being deprived of their right to education. To find out what Sharia law says on the subject, we visited the director of religious schools in Kabul, Mullah Muhammad Zura, who stressed the sacred nature of education.
Islam considers education to be sacred, especially that of women. It's seen as a divine duty. Even the Prophet, peace be upon him, taught his female companions once a week, and Aisha, may God be pleased with her, obtained the highest doctorate in religion.
We returned to Kabul, where a number of secret schools have opened around the city. Many female students have joined these schools in order to finish their studies.
مکتبونه په خیر سره شروع سي خپل ښوونځي ته په خوشحالي سره لاړ سي. بس نور ځای خو نو څه زتلی هم د درس لپاره او داسې بل
Basically, there was nowhere else to study, so I had to come here. They devastated us when they shut the schools and we couldn't go to our school anymore or complete our studies.
شو کولای چې خپل ښوونځي ته لاړ شو او درس ته ادامه ورکړو.
در رابطه با تحصیل دین مقدس اسلام زن و مرد را بالایش میگه که فرض است. البته شرایطی را
Islam imposes learning on men and women, but sets boundaries so they don't mix, so women's chastity isn't questioned. Therefore, the place should be exclusively for them. Islam sets these conditions, but doesn't deprive women from the right to education. Islamic scholars say if chastity and knowledge are in conflict, chastity is preferred. So if women can't ensure their dignity and chastity, they should choose chastity over knowledge.
After considerable effort, we managed to reach one of the Taliban government officials responsible for women's education, Abdul Hamid al-Hamazi. He is a senior figure in the Taliban whose death was celebrated by the previous Afghan government, only for the world to be shocked to discover he was still alive.
In my view, we want there to be official schools for women under the gaze of the Islamic Emirate. I don't want there to be secret schools. Maybe some secret schools have opened up in Afghanistan, but most are only mentioned in Western reports, who want to act as though because Afghanistan is an Islamic Emirate, it has a problem with education. But this isn't the case.
يتظاهر الأفغانستان وإمارة الإسلامية أن في أفغانستان مشكلة كل مشكل بوجه التعليم لكن ما هو هكذا.
The women's colleges aren't all closed across Afghanistan as you think. As for secondary schools, maybe they're closed.
في مرتبة الثانوية ممكن هذا مغلق. هنا بأفغانستان كان الرجال والنساء مختلطين.
But like I said, before the Islamic Emirate took control of Afghanistan, men and women were mixing. Now the Islamic Emirate want to prepare a regulatory decree to separate women. So there will be female schools in one place and male schools elsewhere to end this mixing.
Schools have shut their doors to girls, so they come here. We're trying to make it accessible and raise the standard of girls' education. They have no university education themselves but are depriving girls of this, limiting their options, so girls won't be able to choose for themselves. The Taliban is only interested in girls covering their faces. We saw the Higher Education Ministry recently pass laws limiting specialisms women can take. This is very dangerous and means girls are being limited from options at university and told they have no right to study anything the Taliban hasn't approved for them.
I'm not interested in a certificate. I just want to keep studying and learning. I want to be a good person, and I'm not afraid of anyone, as I didn't come here to do something bad. I came here to learn.
Demands from rights organisations and the UN that girls' schools be reopened in Afghanistan have been ignored by the Taliban government, which is sticking to an ideology and political stance that is holding half of Afghan society hostage. The future for women remains unknown, and hope is dwindling as they wait for a solution for their plight.